So what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video I actually think is more for me than for you guys, but I kind of want to explore the mind of an automotive enthusiast, a collector, so to speak. And since the only mind I really have available is mine, we're going to use mine. Now I want to start this video by saying these are just my thoughts. This is just kind of what I go through and what happens with me, so my perspective completely. Your thoughts, your opinions may vary, and I would like to hear your opinions and your thoughts, so definitely leave me a comment down below. I would appreciate that. But for me, I haven't always been this crazy into automotive. You know, it all kind of started back when I was a kid. I mean, my dad had the cool 65 Chevy pickup that I now have, and I got it in 1985, so I mean, you do the math, I've had it for a long time. And I remember having the truck, and I certainly cleaned it up, and I did a lot of stuff to it to make it my own, mechanically kept it nice, and I really cared about it. I wanted to make it always nice and shiny and everything like that. But I wasn't heavily into cars at that stage of the game. My friends had cars. I thought they were cool. We talked cars a little bit. We admired them, but I didn't know nearly as much as I do now, and I still don't know very much. I wasn't nearly as mechanically inclined. Not that I do mechanical stuff anyway, but I certainly didn't really know anything about how an engine works or anything like that. And I know a lot more now. Again, very little compared to the whole big picture, but I definitely know a lot more now, and I've gotten more into it. I would really say probably about 11 or 12 years ago was when I really started getting more into it. I mean, I had my truck, and it was just parked most of the time. I didn't do very much with it. It got dusty and dirty and just sat there, and you know, I'd go to start it and the battery would be dead and the gas wouldn't be any good in it and everything like that. But then, I guess about 11 or 12 years ago, I decided I wanted my second vehicle, and I bought a 94 Impala SS. And I remember thinking it was just crazy that I had these two really cool cars. I had my truck and my Impala, and after that I started paying more attention to the cars and doing more with them. And that just kind of grew and grew and grew, and when I first moved into this shop, I think I had like 9 cars, which I thought, okay, I'm doing good. I might get a few more vehicles, but I'll never outgrow this shop. I never will. And within a couple years, I'd outgrown the shop, and now I wish I would have went another 10 feet that way and 20 feet that way and gained another 2,000 square feet. But I know that had I done that, I'd still be sitting there thinking, I wish I would have went with a bigger shop. But I'm getting off course. For me, and kind of what I go through, well, I guess I should start and say, like on a scale of 1 to 10, say 1 being couldn't care less about vehicles, don't care if they exist or not, and 10 being like eat, sleep, breathe, dream about vehicles, I'm probably about an 8. That's about where I average. You know, sometimes I may drop down a notch to 7, sometimes I may go up to a 9, maybe even close to a 10, but for the most part I'm about an 8. I very much enjoy automotive. I enjoy talking to people about automotive. I enjoy going to functions. I enjoy doing things with my vehicles. I enjoy making the videos, but it's not like my entire life. It's a big part of my life, but it's not my entire life. And I will go through stages, much like I did here recently, where I started thinking, you know what, I should just get rid of some of these vehicles. I should downsize. I should just kind of settle in, maybe get rid of, I even thought about getting rid of about half of the vehicles and getting down to maybe about 10 or 12 vehicles, which is still a lot. But I thought I could have some money in my pocket. I could do some things to the vehicles that I still had and really make them really super nice and higher end. And yeah, you know, I'm always making plans and thinking about things like that, but I always come back to no. And then I end up going and I end up looking at vehicles, and I think I'm just going to go look, and I end up buying, much like I just did actually. As a matter of fact, as I'm filming this, there's a vehicle on its way to me, and I will definitely be doing a video on that for you really soon. And I guess I go through stages or quirks or what have you, where like I'll like a certain vehicle or a certain genre or era of vehicles. Like here recently I've been into newer vehicles, and you have to understand at my age, for me a newer vehicle is from like 1990 up. And so, you know, I got the Firehawk and the Viper and things like that, some 90s and even 2000s, my XLR Cadillac. To me that's newer technology, that's newer school vehicles. And so I've been kind of into that, and I was even thinking that I wanted something even a little bit newer, like maybe a Hellcat, or go back to another C7 Corvette, something along those lines. And then something will shift and something will happen, and I'll be like, no, and then I'll go back to something older, which is actually what's coming right now. I have an older vehicle, one of the oldest, actually will be the oldest vehicle that I have right now in my collection. So I kind of go through quirks and phases like that too, where I'm into this, I'm into that, this is cool, this is not cool. And I shouldn't say this is not cool, because everything is cool. I've always said it doesn't have to be fast, it doesn't have to be awesome, it doesn't have to be quote unquote the norm, or it doesn't have to be the in vehicle at the moment to be cool. I mean, quite honestly, I think Pintos are cool. I wouldn't mind having a Pinto at some point in time, just because they're just cool little cars, quirky and fun, but they're cool little cars. I also think that Corvairs are cool. I would like to have a Corvair at some point in time. They're not fast, they weren't great performance cars, they really weren't great for anything, but they're still very cool. So if it's cool, it's cool. But I go through these phases and I go through these quirks, and I'll decide, okay, well, now I want a pro touring car. No, now I want a pro street car. And well, no, I want an old hot rod. Or okay, I want an old 30s car. Or, no, now I want a 2015 Camaro. I'm just kind of all over the board, and it's just interesting how I can kind of jump around so quickly. And I guess that's one thing that's neat about having so many vehicles, and I've said this before, is that I can come out here and say, okay, you know what, I'm looking at my Corvette, my 64 Corvette, and thinking that's just a beautiful body style, I'm into it, I admire it, I want to drive it, I want to do things with it, I may shoot a video on it or whatever, and then that kind of leads me, and then it's like, okay, I'm on to my Cobra over here, and that's a really cool car, look at the design, look at the style, and I'm into that for a little while, and then I want to jump on my Pantera. I know as time has going by, it's getting more and more difficult for me to get rid of vehicles. Like I said, just here it was another, like maybe a week or two ago, I was thinking I want to get rid of vehicles and downsize, and I put my Fiero up for sale, which I still wouldn't mind selling it, but I'm not in a hurry to do that. But that was my mindset, get rid of some vehicles and kind of downsize, and now I'm kind of back into, okay, I really wish I had more vehicles. I wish I had more space. I want to put maybe lifts in and add more vehicles and have even more vehicles than I had before. So I'm really a mess, is what I'm trying to say. If you've gotten nothing else out of this video, I'm a mess. And I want to know, are other car guys like this too? Kind of jumping around and going around and everything like that? I mean, I know that there are individuals out there in the world, and we're all individuals, and we all have our own quirks, and there's some people that are just into one type of vehicle, or they get their vehicle and they hold on to them forever and everything like that, whereas I'm more the type that I like to buy, sell, and trade, and I like different things. I have a buddy that he's got a vehicle and he's talked about trading it, and he's like, oh, I'm thinking about trading for this or that, what do you think, da 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 da, and then he backs away from it, he keeps his vehicle. And I'm like, okay, well, why start down this road if you're not going to trade it, you're not going to get rid of it or whatever. I've got another buddy that for him it's just investment. All he wants to do is he wants to pick up a nice vehicle and he wants to flip it and make some money. For me, that's not my first motivation, is to make money. Certainly making money off these vehicles is nice. When I can own a vehicle for a little while and turn a little profit, that's great. And I've been pretty lucky. I've done pretty well here lately and come out pretty good, and some of the vehicles I've gotten rid of or traded for or whatever, but I've also lost in a lot of my vehicles too. So I'm always of the attitude that if I can own a vehicle and own it for a while and maybe get my money back when it's all said and done, I'm doing pretty good. So I guess there's all kinds of individuals in the car world as well, and I'm just one of those individuals, but this is just kind of my mindset. I do jump around a lot, I do admit that. Another good example is me wanting to do the 370Z build and being really excited about that, and then after a couple of months and it's taken some time, I'm like, I don't think I want to do that anymore. I think I want to focus on something else. I think that's a good move financially. I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move just because the vehicle works so well and it's not broken. So don't fix it, right? I could end up opening a complete different can of worms if I started messing with that vehicle, and I don't want to do that. And I know I'm rambling right now, and like I said, I think this video is more for me. So if you guys get anything out of it, that's great. Would love to hear your thoughts, your comments, that type of thing. But yeah, I'm kind of a mess. I'm kind of all over the board. I guess that's why I have the extreme automotive addiction, because I really am addicted. And honestly, if I had the means, I would just keep every vehicle. I wouldn't sell them. I wouldn't get rid of them. I would just keep them. I really would. But this is kind of my limits here, and certainly it's a great limit. I'm very blessed to have as many vehicles as I have and be able to do what I do and enjoy it. So not complaining at all. It's an amazing hobby, and you get to meet some amazing people, and for that I am eternally grateful. It's opened so many doors for me and brought me to so many great people that I really love this hobby. I really do. So yes, in closing, there is a new vehicle on its way. Like I said, the only hint I'm going to give you guys is it is an older vehicle. It's definitely older than anything I have in the shop at the moment, but I'll wait. I'll do a video on it in the next probably week and a half, get that up so you guys can see what's new, and then hopefully by then the Camaro will be all dialed in and ready to go and running, and we can do a video on that. So I'm sorry for this video, because I know it probably doesn't make a lot of sense. It made more sense in my head when I thought about it, but hopefully you guys find something out of it. So I'm gonna end now and shut up. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. I really appreciate your help in getting me there, so keep the subscribes coming my way. Please share the channel with other people that you think might enjoy it. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, God bless, take care, have an absolutely amazing day.